All right, Thursday. It is Thursday. I just finished a gym session that went freaking awesome. I use the gym for mental clarity, headspace, sanity, whatever you want to use it for. Use it. I use it for that. Today, this week, really, let me go back to this week. This week is a good reminder when you're growing, when you're maturing, when you're growing, when you're getting healthy, when you've been through a lot of crap and then you're trying to rebuild. It is so easy to think that you're falling behind and or falling flat on your face and or true devastation all around you. This week has reminded me of something I have really taken for granted internally. Internally, I have been just really living life assuming that I was falling so far behind over these last few years. And this week has really reminded me of something. There are so many situations out of my control within my life right now. So many that truly I do not have control over. Then there's several things that I have control over. With each of those, something that stays equally the same is my reaction, right? And so I had received some wisdom from someone, I don't know, about a month ago. And it was along the lines of leaning in, right? Because oftentimes this week forced me to have to acknowledge something about my past as an adult and my past as a child. And that was that when I find myself talking about good things happening in my life for me and around me that would affect me for the positive in my life, I am so scared that it will be taken away. So almost as if you're jinxing yourself, and yet you know that that's not humanistically possible. It's humanistically a word it is now if it wasn't. But I've lived my life that way. And so many things, if I like someone or if I get recognition or acknowledgement of something, an award, whatever, I try not to talk about it too much because then I'm so scared it's going to be taken away, right? Or if you like someone, oh God, they're going to be taken away if I talk too positively about the fact that I like them. So I've played small in many areas of my life since a child, all the way through 43. And I'm really this week, for whatever reason, a switch finally flipped. And I just told myself, you're going to stop doing that. You can't physically jinx yourself. You're not that big of a superhero at all. So it's okay to be happy, and it's okay to find joy, and it's okay to have failures in some areas and wins in others, and they can coexist. There's a lot of shifting going on in my personal life, with my older kids and with the younger kids, and then just with other things, right? Just not just kid related, but life and career growth patterns and crossroads of things and just all of this stuff. And I'm just like, you know what, Sam, stop. You can't jinx yourself, and you get to be excited about things, and you get to actually believe that good things happen to good people. And this week was such a reminder of that, in many areas of things that took place this week already. And we're only at Thursday. So, it's interesting though, right? Because having to acknowledge at 43 years old that you're still scared as if you were a kid, that you're going to jinx yourself for these good things is weird, heartbreaking in some ways, weird in others for me. And yet it still requires no less of a difference that you're going to still have to process it, right? So I've been processing. So today at the gym, really just use this time to kind of quiet my mind, to think about things, right? I get a say at the table of my life, and I just get a say, right? And often I've placed myself in life situations, where the autonomy of my say doesn't count for anything. And I've really worked hard this last year and a half to have a say. Doesn't guarantee that you're the end all be all say, right? But you still get a say. And I feel like this week I was able to speak my truth and have a say. And I feel like I was able to really be who I am. And I'm going to continue being who I am. And there's power in that. Next week on the 22nd, have a thing that I've got to deal with, and just realized, I can't control the outcome. What I can do is speak the truth. And in speaking my truth, it's going to go one way or the other. But even if it doesn't go in my favor, it doesn't change the truth, and it doesn't change where I'm at and how I feel. And a year ago, I wouldn't have had that same reaction or thought process. That's growth. And I think we have to, as adults, really celebrate the small wins. My instinct, because I've been through so much crap in my life, quite honestly, as things get really hard, and I will lean in sometimes, right? Because you're solution thinking. But when it comes to me personally, when it comes to me, my heart, my emotions, like, when it comes to letting people in my life, truly in my life, is very scary to me, because important people in my life have left me. And having to allow myself to allow people in to be a part of me and share my heart with people is not easy. And yet I'm choosing to, this week, really say, you know what? No harm, no foul, because you still get to love, and you still get to care, and you still can let people in. Whether they want that or they don't, you don't get to control that, but you still get to do it. And I'm sure that there's a saying about, like, no risk, reward, whatever, but isn't that part of trusting the process of life? Isn't that part of the process of trusting someone? You've got to kind of lay it out there and trust them. And I'm learning. So this week has been a huge learning opportunity, a huge growth opportunity, a huge requiring me to acknowledge that I have grown, requiring me to acknowledge that I still have some fears and some insecurities and some areas that I need to keep growing in. But those things I think are important to talk about, right? More and more, and make it normal. And it's been incredible the last, month or so. It's been a really good part of my life where I'm seeing how important it is to have the right people in your life that can support you, whether it's pray over you, support you, know you better than you know yourself and what you need at that moment, or bringing you signs that you didn't know that person was going to bring you. And just like blessings, those are blessings come in all shapes and sizes. And to know, the last month or so, I've really been blessed with receiving some of those things, and I can't help but feel and believe that it's because I've been more open-minded to open myself to experiences that, again, earlier this year, last year, I never would have allowed in that way. So I hope this inspires you or does whatever it's supposed to do. I see you. I love you. You matter to me. Bye.